Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Awashai by Hashem Bukak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, to be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming back at you with another lesson in truth. I was watching a couple of videos earlier today, and you know, the spirit jumped on me to put this lesson together. I'm here in front of my favorite tree. All right, and it's the only tree in the city, and I can honestly say this, that I cannot see signs of death on it, at least from this angle. You know, from the outside, I can't see any signs of death on it. You know, and Yahweh Ratazah, or should I say Yahweh is my witness. You can't see them in the frame, but I just been joined by a whole bunch of birds. There was none over here when I sat down, and as soon as I said, you know, my prayer and turned on the camera, all these little birds just joined me. The water Yahweh Bashem Awashai. But this lesson, let me just change the angle. Get some of those flowers over there. But I was watching a couple of videos, and I had a very interesting conversation. Listening to a woman complain about what she wants, and trying to get her to understand that therein lies the problem, that it's all about what Yahushua wants, and all of us are inconvenienced in this walk that we're in. It clearly says, through much oppression, suffering and oppression, roughly paraphrased, shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right, and you can't be with the Lord and still be of the world. You know, you can't look at relationships and marriage and with the worldly view, because if you do, you are going to fail. It is going to fall apart. All right. Hence the reason why I'm always talking about that Matthew 19, I believe it's 19 and 12. Let me grab it, because that is truly the spirit that I'm on. All right. It's like, I really, really love women, but I've come to the understanding that I love Yahushua more, and understanding that women, until the day of our power, women are not going to bend to the will of the Lord, meaning they're not going to bend to my will. They're not going to bend to the will of their man. It's always going to be a but this or a but that, you know. But let me find that scripture. Yeah, I believe it's 19 and 12. Matthew 19, 12. And yes, and it reads, for there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. All right, and men like that are men who are born with plumbing issues. You know, they can't make children. All right. Or there's some sort of defect in their rod, which is more than likely a punishment from the life before. All right, I'm gonna prove that with another scripture that I'm gonna read for anyone who wants to dispute that. But it says, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. All right, so we talk about men who go to war, and they get hurt in the privy parts, shot, sword, spear, you know, whatever, fall upon something, or whatever, however, car accident, however it happens. All right, and then it says, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. Men who don't want to be distracted from doing the work of the Lord, and they just decide not to deal with women. All right, because you got to remember, there's a scripture that says, and I do believe it was Paul that said, those who have wives, be as if you have none. meaning you too busy serving the Lord to be dealing with your wives, your wife or your wives, plural. All right. And what it comes down to is that the average woman, including the average Israelite woman who says she believes, they do not desire to be a wife, or let me rephrase that. They don't desire to be one of many wives or one of two wives. What these women really want is it to be all about them. They're the whole westernized lie of romance, of monogamy, which isn't in the Bible. All right? There's no such thing. Okay? The average Israelite man, especially one of substance, and not only the Israelite man, but men of the other nations, had multiple wives, especially those of the Hebrews. Remember, there are 8 Hebrew nations. Only one of them is chosen, which is the Hebrew Israelites, but there are 8 Hebrew nations. And for the most part, they all had multiple wives, even some of the other nations. All right, why? Because the Lord is a patriarchal God, and the Bible is a patriarchal book. And it really comes down to penis envy, just to be brutally honest. And women say they believe in the Lord. You know, it's just like we always say, everyone's a Christian until the scriptures come out. And what it really comes down to is that women don't want to acknowledge their role. And their role is that they are incubator for a man's seed. All right? Because we do need the women to bring forth life, to bring forth. You play a role. You have a beautiful role. All right? You get to bring forth the seed of your husband, his line. But he can't do it without you. Okay? Now, the chosen people, anyone who wants to argue and debate this, you know, I always just quote something real simple. Just go back and read about Jacob and when the patriarchs of Israel were born, the 12 sons, the 12 tribes. All right? The 12 patriarchs of Israel came out of 4 different women. Enough said. So let's get on with the lesson. Let's go into the scriptures. This is Matthew 6 and 19. And I'm going to read through verse 21. And it reads, "Lay up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth and rust, Salakia, lay up for yourselves treasures, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where no moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart also will your heart be also." So if your mind is on the riches of this world, you know, it was brought up about how her ex's friend has bought a property because he's all involved in Bitcoin, which is all going to come to naught. All right. You know, I've often said, I said to a group of men just a couple days ago, that if you think that these Edomites are going to allow you, because there's a lot of Negroes and Hispanics or people of color that are not in the elite circles that are actually have been doing well with Bitcoin all the way up until now. Now they're starting to mess with it. People got arrested a little over a month ago that were doing too well in it. All right. But the point being, if you think that these people are going to allow you to operate autonomously and get autonomous wealth in their kingdom using their systems, you are fooling yourselves. What they're going to do, the Federal Reserve already has its own digital notebook. The banks already have their own digital notebook. And what they're eventually going to do is they're going to combine all the digital stuff into one. All right? Novus Ordo Seclorum. They're going to put them all into one. It's all going to be controlled by one source, and you will no longer be able to do that. All these people dibbling and dabbling in Bitcoin that are doing okay, including some men of the Lord that are doing it. All right? But the ones, they're wise enough to know that it's going to come to an end and not to trust in it. That being the difference. All right? That being the difference. Okay, so this is, you know, wanting a piece of the pie, wanting a piece of she's wanting a piece of this world when this world is rapidly coming to an end. So fast, so many things are going to happen over the next 6 to 7 weeks. I can almost promise you, come August, it's going to be nightmarish here in America with the way that prices are going up already. So the rest of June and all of July is going to be a party. Clubs are banging, music loud, people are having a good time. That's all going to, because they're going to turn around and lock down again with all the issues that they're having. All right, this is Psalms 73. And I'm going to read verses 1 through 9. And it reads, truly, the power is good to Israel, even